Hey, Segovia, back with another one, y'all. Hope everyone out there had a good day. We got a good one coming up today. We got 45 with some creepy TikToks for you guys. Before we get into it, though, you guys know what we need. We need those 2,000 likes. Hit that like button. I feel like a broken record asking, but we're getting the job done. So let's keep the train going, y'all. But enough with the chit chat. Let's do what we all came here for. Let's get into the video. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
Guys, be very careful where you're getting your rice from, because what you're seeing right here is manufactured plastic rice, and there's a lot of videos all over the internet of people getting like rubbery rice. I'm going to show you soon, but look at this. This is what's going on right now, and people are starting to notice. Look at this. He like crumbles up the rice. He knows it's not natural, and it's bouncy, like rubber rice, right? So we need to make sure that we're getting, again, organic food. There's a way to check if your rice is, you know, plastic or if it's natural, and I'm going to show you right now. Just throw a little bit in a hot cast iron pan, and if it starts popping up, then you know it's real. If it starts melting, then you know it is plastic. And you're going to see in this video the rice, you know, it starts popping up and changing colors. That is what it should do. It's natural. See how it's popping up? See how they're all popping and start changing a little bit more brown because they're burning? This is natural rice. But if it starts melting in the pan, you don't want to eat it. So be very, very careful, guys, okay? Peace and love.
I had somebody send me the NASA logo before, right? I don't know if I ever talked about this or not, but you look at it, right? And you see this red thing with the two lines going across. Somebody sent me another picture of a snake with its tongue. So it's supposed to be a serpent's tongue. Isn't that interesting? I mean, even with NASA, all you gotta do is put a T in there, and the tongue could be a T, and switch up the little words, and it turns into Satan. Now, am I saying that's facts? You know, I don't know the mind behind the person who made this, but I do know that a lot of revealing happens that the Lord allows us to see, and a lot of times our minds can't understand why. So we get into this space of where we just deny it.
I mean, I want y'all to think about it. NASA knew something was in that ocean. Like, you see all these movies, video games with some giant snake-like dragon coming out of it. Even the cartoon like Dragon Ball Z. Y'all know about Shenron, and he's always sleeping every time they want to wake him up. Like, I'm starting to think it's Shenron that's in that ocean. But, you know, this also could be like a puzzle piece, you know, with Gnosticism, how Yaldabaoth was like a serpent / dragon. And now I'm starting to think, has it been asleep for like 1,000 years? Anyways, the thing is trying to wake up, like earthquakes, all types of stuff. So we know like a lot of stuff is about to happen like in these next couple years. You know, some people say the world's not going to end, you know, with this dragon. They don't think the dragon's there or whatever. It's going to end with, you know, some ballistic things shooting up from the ground, you know what I'm saying? But that dragon could be another reason why they, you know, let off those ballistic, you know what I'm saying? Along with some zombies. Like, man, I know all this stuff sounds crazy, but yo, man, we probably about to see some stuff we ain't never seen before. However, right now it is just a theory for educational and entertainment purposes.
I mean, before everything gets exposed, you know, the powers that be are going to go into those bunkers, go underground, and they're going to hit that button. They're going to hit that button and do the Great Reset. It might take 100 years, but those people's powers that be, elites, kids will be the ones in control. And it just keeps going on. Before it all comes out, they will hit that panic button on us.
Company you keep. This is part 2 on old Stevie here. But isn't that one of the golden rules that we all live by? I mean, there's always exceptions, but when you're considered to be the key to some people's career in the industry, it's pretty important. And it also comes with certain cooperation, especially when we're talking about people outside Hollywood, like being good friends with Obama. Hitting the town together in Barcelona with Bruce Springsteen as a third wheel. But see, there's this weird coincidence when it comes to Steven's friends. Like another former president, Old Bill, who I'm sure most of us are familiar with his extensive relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. But we can't stop there. See, Stevie was a family friend to the Clintons. I mean, they did produce a television series together after all. And now with recent developments, even she has to answer to her relationship with Epstein.
Congress has subpoenaed 8 former law enforcement officials and the Clintons to testify about Jeffrey Epstein. Comes as the Department of Justice debates releasing transcripts of last month's interview with Epstein's former girlfriend and confidant.
No, Stevie has another long-standing friend, which is this man, fellow filmmaker Roman Polanski. And Roman has a pretty wicked past himself. Not only did he flee the United States trying to avoid his responsibility for a child court case, but in 2004 some more allegations came out for pretty much the same thing.
Lawsuit was served to Polanski at his home in France last September.
That's where he has remained since fleeing sentencing in the United States decades ago in another child sexual abuse case. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes has the latest on this.
And this is the same guy that Spielberg offered Schindler's List to. But see, old Steven wasn't just a filmmaker, he was also a businessman. See, Stevie went into business with some of the titans of the industry, and he joined a group with some interesting people, which this group, by the way, was started by Les Wexner, who I'm sure we all know played a huge part in Jeffrey Epstein's presence. But another interesting name that was in this group, Edgar Brofman. This is the family behind the alcohol brand Seagram's. But that's also the family that played the wallet behind Nexium, the self-help group.
Claire Bronfman returns to court. The heiress to the Seagram's liquor fortune is facing charges in connection with the suspected sex cult known as Nexium.
Now, I don't know about you, but that sure is a lot of people that seem to be into the same things. And to think, we haven't even got into the weird things that have happened on his movie sets yet. But we'll get there. Stay safe.
The Sphinx was the face of a black woman. The Sphinx is not a man. It's the face of a woman and the body of a lioness, because they believe that the year that it was born, created 10,000 years ago, before the pyramids. In fact, the pyramids were built there to complement the Sphinx that had been there for generations, if not millennia. It was built during the cusp of the constellations of Leo and Virgo. So Virgo was the woman's head, and Leo was the body of the lion or the lioness. And so we know that the pyramids were astronomically inclined. We know that one of the functions was to trace the constellations. We know that the 3 pyramids that exist right now actually are in direct relationship to the 3 stars in Orion's belt. They perfectly match up. So we know that it was done for astronomical reasons. We know that every entrance to those 3 pyramids, Khufu, Khafra...
Emotions can intoxicate the human brain the same way that drugs and alcohol do. That's deep. I remember, I don't know if it's still on the market, but there used to be a drink called E&J.
Evil Jesus.
That's what they call Evil Jesus? E&J is in a bottle of spirit that can intoxicate you and mess up your thinking process. But there's another E&J that can mess up your thought process, envy and jealousy. So negative emotions have the ability to intoxicate you. What does intoxication mean? To be out of my original frame of thinking. Bad decisions are made. So many of our brothers are in jail doing 30 years from a 30-second decision. If they had said, before I do, I'm going to think 5 times before I speak or do, I guarantee you they never would have made that decision. So the question would be, in conflict resolution, we have to have more knowledge in our mind, because the natural reflex of the human being is to reach up into his mind for knowledge and wisdom and understanding, and then put it in the form of words, talk to somebody, they talk it out. But whenever people are underdeveloped and they don't have knowledge, when the natural reflex is to reach up, and they reach up and there's nothing there, the only thing they feel left to do to reach down is to reach down for a weapon to solve the conflict. So we don't talk it out, we shoot it out. And the stuff we shooting out, if it's very petty, because we don't know how to think and speak to talk it out. We have to set up conflict resolution centers in our community. And I'm not talking about a building called Conflict Resolution Center that is funded by a government grant. Every building that we have, every function and post that somebody holds, there has to be a skill set of conflict resolution in it. And we have to be willing to be objective mediators to stop problems from happening among our people.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
No.
No? What'd you see while we were up there?
Just the blue sky, white clouds.
Yeah, is it flat or?
Pretty flat.
Pretty flat?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I love how the glowies think they know more than pilots, because pretty much all pilots know that the Earth is flat. They all know. Like when you're flying at Mach speed over the ocean and you're never correcting for curvature, just like this, because you're flying over a flat plane. Or when the Earth is supposedly spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, and this is what a nice calm day looks like, and then when wind is blowing at 100 miles per hour, that's what it looks like. Makes so much logical sense, hey? And when we see the sun passing through the clouds, just like, you know, all of our ancestors told us, they're still like, no, it's a globe, that's a mirage, that doesn't, no way. No way. NPCs are hilarious. You guys are completely indoctrinated, don't know how to use your own eyes, and very simple critical thinking. NPCs are soulless vessels, and those are the ones who believe in the globe. Peace and love.
Who remembers NBA Inside Stuff hosted by Ahmad Rashad?
Bro, you know what this is? This was social media, before social media.
You didn't have access to these athletes, anything other than a pregame presser or postgame presser.
Yeah.
That was it.
This was the only time you're getting personal with any of these people. You never got a glimpse in their life until now.
You just saw them as athletes.
Yep.
Now all you gotta do is go to their Instagram page and you can find out who somebody is.
I can find everything you want. Shit you don't want to know.
NBA Inside Stuff served as sort of like a recap and an analysis show reviewing the week's previous games in the NBA, complete with top plays and special moments. Ahmad Rashad would also interview top NBA players outside of game situations, often discussing issues relevant to them. The show first aired on October 27, 1990 and ended on January 15, 2006.
That's a good run.
So our whole teenage years into our early 20s. I felt so lucky growing up with this show as a kid. Like, it would come on Saturday mornings, and there was a point in my life where I was like, man, skip cartoons, skip all that. When is Inside Stuff coming up?
Or who's on it?
Because they would always feature somebody.
Yep.
This is in the Jordan era, so you got inside looks at like peak NBA for me. And look, Will, I put
woman just crawled in like the Exorcist, and I just see a hand come in over here, scared the hell out of me, to hand me my phone.
This was pre-social media.
It really was.
Before the internet. This was pre-internet, so you couldn't go look up highlights. You couldn't look up interviews. You just had to catch it when you caught it. Now, also on Inside Stuff, a lot of like legendary stuff happened, y'all, but none more legendary than when Ahmad Rashad was guarding Shaq. This is early Shaq, y'all. This is like 93 Shaq, 92 Shaq. Just watch the clip. Watch Shaq destroy this rim and damn near injure himself. I can't believe he didn't get really injured from this.
This is when no backboard was safe. They didn't make rims and backboards for people like Shaq.
Check it out.
Give me your best. Let me see your best.
Ooh. Dude.
Well, game over.
Game over.
That is the most dangerous thing I've ever seen.
Watch his right arm. He could have ripped his tendons in his arm. He hits his hand. He lands right on his back.
Oh my God.
And he's 7'1", 300 pounds. Watch it again.
Give me your best. Let me see your best.
Bro, what the fuck?
Like, how did he not tear his rotator cuff?
Bro, he landed on glass.
That's a big tree coming down.
80% of them homicide victims in Milwaukee are black. I just looked at the most recent statistics. I think it's close to 95%.
Oh my God.
So it's like there's something really crazy happening. And until we're comfortable looking at it in the mirror and saying what's going on and coming up with real solutions rather than just putting our pronouns in our emails.
That's right.
We're going to be in the same position, if not worse, years to come. I have a point on this. This has been something I'm actually thinking about a lot lately, and it's like this. Julian, if I invited you to my house and you're a plumber, I have 2 leaks going on. There's one leak that 99% of the water is coming from, and there's one leak that 1% of the water is coming from. What are you going to fix?
99%.
But we as a culture, in the media, as a country, like we're too afraid to say like, oh, we're just gonna and the 1% is important. A 1% leak can still mess up a house, but the 99% leak is really where we need to look. And for some reason, you can't say it. You can't talk about it. Especially two white guys can't talk about it.
Well, that 99% is by design. I mean, it is. It's by design. That 99% killing and all that, maybe not as much no more, but the root of it, where it started and just domino effect down, now they don't got to do nothing. Now it's a recipe. But the root of it is by design. I mean, look at the Iran Contra, the drugs in the streets. You know, there's videos of people saying in Compton that in the 90s that they would find military crates next to train rails of guns. Like, this is all by design. Liquor stores on every corner, fast food on every corner, right? This is by design. And it seems like kind of now with the food thing, they're trying to fix it, right? No more junk food with food stamps, none of that. That, I know you guys might not think it, but that is going to make a huge difference with people in poverty. A lot of people are going to stop getting food stamps. If they're forced to eat cleaner foods, that does something to your mind. When you're eating cleaner foods, it does something to your mind. When you're eating junk, you are what you eat, right? So they're making little changes for the 99%. But it's all by design.
Let's guess how much the N64 cost when it was initially released.
$80.
David, what's your guess?
All right, my guess is gonna be $640. Just kidding. $399. That's my guess. $399.
I have a feeling you know that for a fact.
$400.
All right.
He looks like the kind of guy.
I'm gonna say genuinely.
I got the shirt. Okay.
I'm gonna. What do you think? I got the shirt. I'm gonna jump down from that. I'm gonna say $250.
That's a good deal.
Honestly,
under 100.
Can I take David's $399? Because I actually agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you could go $398.
I mean, this isn't a competition.
$395. You'll be on the price.
I think I'm gonna go.
You got to go like one higher or one lower.
400.
Somebody asked.
I'll go $398. $399.98.
That's cheating right there.
I mean, before they give the answer, was it that much? I never had one. I went from a Super Nintendo to PlayStation 2. So I missed all those. I played them at my friend's house, but I went from a Super Nintendo to PS2. I think that's why now I'm not really into video games, but I didn't grow up with them, right? I played Mario once in a while when my sisters would let me. Me and my dad would play some Iron Mike Knockout, whatever that game was called, but wasn't 400. Like the Xbox 360 was 300, right? I got an Xbox 360. So they weren't 400. There's no way.
$99.98.
That's the answer.
Okay, drum roll, please. The Nintendo 64 was initially priced at $199.
Still expensive.
In North America on September 29th, 1996.
I said $250.
This price was set to compete with the lower prices of the Sega Saturn and PlayStation, which had both dropped to $199 as well that summer.
Nobody likes to hear it, but here's the fucking truth. You are a stupid cog in the American economy, America. If you hear me, you are like me, stupid cog in the system. That's just what we are. Our job is to have a job and pay our taxes. Or your job is to start a business and pay fucking taxes. Or your job is to hire people and then have the people you pay taxes. That's our job. That's why we exist. That's why we die and nobody cares. That's why new people join the workforce and nobody cares. That's our job. Because without us, there's no foundation for a tax base to create military superiority. And if you don't have military superiority, you don't have any protection against some other country coming in and destroying your country. So the United States only matters in as much as the government survives, because it's the government that makes us the United States, and the government knows that. It's not the American people that make us the United States. I mean, I understand all the fucking people who are crying in their panties right now. I get it. But the truth is, most wars are won because an invading force walks into a village, and guess what the village does? Because all they want to do is just keep feeding their kids and keep going to school and keep doing whatever. Right. They don't really care if they're France or Nazi Germany. They don't really care if they're Poland or Nazi Germany, right? We're seeing it happen in Ukraine right now. The world is letting Ukraine lose to Russia because the whole world is like, we don't really care if they're Ukraine or Russia. What do we care? We'll have a conversation in Alaska, and we'll decide the future of your country because you don't have a voice at the table. That's exactly what's happening right now. Is Putin and Trump talk in Alaska about what's the future of Ukraine.
The Grada Treaty, a treaty made between President Dwight Eisenhower with aliens.
Yeah, okay.
The theory is there's two different types of aliens that came to meet with Eisenhower. The Nordics, tall, pale, beautiful looking, human-like aliens, long blonde hair. And they offered Eisenhower they would speed up the technology to where there wouldn't be any more diseases, all this different stuff, and like world peace, clean energy, in exchange for disarming your nuclear warheads.
Oh, that seems
Getting rid of
reasonable.
it. Then after that, these other aliens appeared, and they were the Greys, and they offered just to the United States, we'll give you advancements in technology, weaponry, you'll be the #1 powerhouse in the world. In exchange, you let us experiment on humans. And that's what they ended up agreeing with. The crazy thing is with Eisenhower, it was actually reported in the newspaper that President Eisenhower died because he was missing for a couple of days. They're saying that he was actually at this Air Force Base meeting, but the cover story was that he had a chipped tooth and had to get emergency dental work. But there's no records of him going to the dentist or getting this dental work.
And another deal was his counter that deal, what I heard, you can't get people in cities. You got to outskirts, right? National forests, out in the boonies, the farms. That's where you can get your people. And I also seen on the Missing 411, highly recommend those documentaries for you guys. On the Missing 411, they were saying that a lot of these people that are missing 411s, a lot of them come from German descent and also have like a vasectomy, or I don't know what for a woman, her tubes tied, whatever, I don't know the medical term, but a lot of those are the ones that go missing in these Missing 411s. German descent and some type of sexual, organ is missing or gone, right?
Send the National Guard to Chicago, gang.
This guy ain't even from Chicago.
I repeat, do not do it. We are a different fucking breed out here, nigga. We are not Los Angeles, nigga. We are not Washington, D.C., nigga. This is Chicago, nigga. Them niggas go fight back. I'm telling you, them niggas go fight back, gang. Whatever. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Them young niggas got switches, gang. They not going for that shit, bro. I know a bunch of y'all finna say, oh, it's the National Guard. They can't do anything about it. They must go in Chicago. Nigga, do y'all know that it's more bad people than good people, bro? There are over 100,000 gangs in Chicago by the city by itself, gang.
These be the clown ass niggas we have in our community, glorifying that clown ass shit. This man really said President Trump turned the United States Army around because we got switches over here. Nigga, what? Boys don't give a fuck about that. The United States Army runs to problems. You know that, right? And you're talking about switches and shit to put on Glocks? Boy, are you dumb? Having a switch on your gun is asking for a death sentence, fam. After y'all empty y'all shit out in 1.5 seconds, they're still gonna be shooting at y'all if anything happens. I honestly feel like these people don't understand who the fuck the United States Army is, bro. The previous administration, they were on some bullshit. This administration's not on that bullshit, fam. The United States Army is undefeated in every war that they went to. You think the threats in Chicago will not get leveled? Like, come the fuck on. Washington, D.C. is the murder capital. There hasn't been a murder in weeks.
The video on the Charlotte light rail of the Ukrainian woman who escaped Ukraine to live in America, who was then murdered, cold blood, in the middle of an American city. I don't know why it's not national news. I looked it up on CNN,
I know why.
New York Times, MSNBC, you name it, CBS, NBC, no mention of it. The video's crazy. And then this guy has like 15 mugshots, 14 actually. He was in prison from 2014 to 2021 and then was arrested again for domestic disturbance in 2022. So this happened in late August, and the video was just released. Seems like Charlotte didn't want it out there. Listen to what the mayor said on August 27th when it came out. There's no video. There was just a report that there was a murder on the light rail. Lyle said that the suspect appeared to have struggled with mental health and suffered a crisis. We will never arrest our way out of issues such as homelessness and mental health. Mental health disease is just that, disease like any other that needs to be treated with the same compassion, diligence, and commitment as cancer or heart disease. A woman was killed. Cold-blooded. We really need to work on mental.
What are the doubts?
That he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the charisma. He's stiff as a board. He's a klutz. He dropped a trophy. He's not articulate enough. He doesn't have it.
Still young.
Sure, but I'm
That's
saying
the
these are
thing,
the
too.
doubts.
Yeah.
He's young. He doesn't have the gravitas.
Right.
The wife's maybe not super into it. I don't know.
Right.
These are the doubts.
Right.
These are the doubts you got to overcome if you want to win.
All right. If not him, who else is it?
MTG.
For real?
For realsies. Heard it here first. Get on the train now.
You're serious?
Get on the train now. I might be involved. Get on the train now. Buy the stock now. Buy the crypto now. Buy the Ethereum now. We're launching a coin soon.
The coin is crazy.
Step 1 is the coin. Step 2 is the announcement.
Yeah.
Step 3 is the campaign. Step 4 is her running the country, which I don't think is super important. But the first 3 are important. Coin launch, hugely important.
You got to get in the first couple of days and
MTG has
get
come
out
out
within the first couple of days.
MTG.
Who's MTG?
Whether it's her or not, she's surprisingly weirdly capable. She's kind of a tough bitch. She ran a construction company, all this stuff. She's going to be able to go out there and say, America first, not Israel first.
We have 2 years left.
Trump,
So who?
Yeah, it's him. It's Gavin. That's
it has
him.
to be.
Now, on the right, there's going to be a power struggle, and either Trump will live through his term. Let's hope he does. But he's 80. So you never know. But he's healthy enough right now.
Allegedly healthy enough.
Allegedly healthy enough.
Yeah.
If he lives through his term and he knights somebody, whether it's JD or whoever, that will be the person. There is a world in which he doesn't knight anyone. And there is a real power struggle between different factions of that party.
Well, what are the factions? So you have JD.
You have
who's
JD.
the vice president, who's the obvious.
The obvious.
And then the problem with Ron DeSantis is he wore stilts.
Ron DeSantis has a cop energy. He has a guy that pulled you over energy, and you go, was it really 85?
Let me ask you, how has the transition felt? And I'll start, because we have it in our side. So, of course, Hollywood's super liberal. And then when you have the handful of actors that are outspokenly conservative, it's not like the liberals are all that excited about it.
Guess what, folks? L.A. Marzulli's here, and he knows everything about the Kandahar Giants.
No, the Smithsonian took them all, and they deny everything, of course.
It's interesting that they have no
Recently.
interest in it whatsoever, but yet it's theirs and they don't want to talk about
They
it.
don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you think there's something more sinister to
Absolutely.
like
All
the
day
collection of DNA from Nephilim potentially in
Yeah.
the government? And what are your thoughts or theories on that?
When we broke the story on the Kandahar Giant, that's our story. That's Richard Shaw and my story. It's our story.
No way.
That's our story. We broke the story on it. That's our film. We talked to the shooter. We talked to the second witness. We, disguised their voice and blotted out their faces. That's our stuff.
Do you mind just giving a rundown of that?
Rick was on a show talking about our Watchers series. And as he's doing that, there's a caller that calls in. And so the show ends, but the host holds the caller over because they're talking off air. And this guy, we call him the shooter. Yeah, I saw a giant. I was in the Kandahar province. We shot it. And Rick goes, oh my gosh. And they get phone numbers, emails. I'm on the phone with this guy the next day. And I spoke to the shooter 3 or 4 times. I met him in person in Ohio. And then we flew him out to California. We filmed him. So we vetted him first. He showed me all of his cards, all of his military stuff, blah, blah, blah. And every time he talks about the encounter, One part, he breaks down and cries. He did it 3 or 4 times before we even got him on film. And so the story is this, that it's 2002, 2001, somewhere in that. If I could go back and look at the exact, I just don't remember it. But right around in that. So we're in Afghanistan. We're looking for high-value targets. American military looking for high-value targets in Afghanistan. And a patrol is dispatched. They miss their rally point. They miss their second rally point, their third rally point. Nobody knows where these guys are, and they're gone. So the next morning, another patrol is dispatched to the same location to try to follow this trail, see where they go. So they begin to follow the trail in the Kandahar province. And they find themselves way up high, overlooking the valley. There's like a cliff, very wide cliff, like a ledge, but it's not really a ledge. It's more like 20 or 30 feet, across. So it's you could camp there if you wanted to. And above that ledge is a cave. And as they're coming around the corner and they see all this, they start to see what looks like parts of radios, parts of uniforms, bones, blood. They're freaking out. And before anybody can do anything, a nightmare comes out of the cave, because that's what it is. A 12-footer, 14-footer, got flaming red hair, 6 fingers, 6 toes. He is screaming at the top of his lungs. He is brandishing a lance, and he's like this. And one of the men break away and start firing at this thing. This thing moves with such agility and speed that it stuns the rest. Everybody's like, how is he moving this fast? And before anybody can do anything, this soldier is impaled, and the giant's holding it up, screaming at the top of its lungs. Somebody yells, shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head. So they open up fire, and they basically decapitate him. What does that sound like, David and Goliath, right? They decapitate him. Down he goes. He's dead. And at this point, the patrol kind of comes into their senses. The stench is unbelievable. The shooter told us, and I've never smelled this, and I don't want to, it's like a pile of corpses that have been sitting in the sun for 2 weeks.
Oh.
Right? The stench is unbelievable. And some people were actually heaving, throwing up from it. They radio him. The guy that's been lanced, he's dead. He dies. He succumbs to his wounds. And a big, Jolly Green Giant helicopter comes in. They crate this thing up in a net. They fly him out of there. The patrol goes back, and they write everything down. And then they're told, no, that's not going to fly. Rewrite the story without the giant. So they do that. So you say, well, that's a colorful story, L.A., and it is. I get that. We have a second witness who was there a few years after the event, who talked about the rumor going around the base about the giant of Kandahar, but you were not supposed to talk about it. And then when they were doing cave training, he's on film doing this. We disguised his face and his voice. He's on film doing this. So he's there, and they're doing cave training, cave fighting training, right? And they're told, when you're in a cave and if you confront something, aim high. Excuse me, what? Aim high? You mean like here? No. High, like 9 to 10 feet high. And all the soldiers are going like, what are we looking at here? This confirms. Years later, I was a gentleman called me up and wanted to get in touch. He never showed up. He said he was part of a government operation that received the giant bodies from overseas, and then
more than one,
and then processed them to go to Wright-Patterson Field for genetic. Right, that's what they're taking, the super soldiers. Later on, years after, I've had people come up to me at conferences and just go, "L.A., I want to tell you everything about the Kandahar giant. It's real. I know. I can't come on the record. I'm active military." And he just backs up and walks away. I was threatened by a guy from a deep state because of the work on the Kandahar giant. He shows up at a conference in Dallas, and he goes, shows me his badge, and I have a bodyguard with me. And he goes, what kind of car do you drive? And at that time, I had a 1991. This is like circa 2015, circa 2016. So I was driving a 1991 Mercedes-Benz SL500. I called it the go-kart because I live up in the canyon. I bought it for next to nothing and restored it. It's just so much fun to drive. It's ridiculous, right? So, I bought it for like, I think $8,000 or something, right? And restored it. It was really cool. And he goes, what kind of car? I go, I have a Mercedes SL 500, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, does it have a computer? And I go, yeah. And he goes, well, we can take the computer and make it so you can have a fiery crash. Where have we heard this before? Then he goes, do you have any children? I go, I have 2 daughters. One of them can go missing and never be found. And I go, and this is the Spirit of the living God, because this isn't me talking. This is him talking, my protector. And, thou, O Lord, are a shield about me, right? And I go, yeah, I get it. You can crush me. I'm a worm. You got all the bells, but all the whistles. I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. You can set me up. You can crush me like a worm.
A lot of these churches are Zionists. We got Christian Zionist churches, which makes no sense. Like, we got Christians that will tell you Jews are the chosen people, which makes no sense to me. If you're a Christian, shouldn't you believe that Christians are the chosen people? It just makes no sense. But the majority of churches you go to in America will tell you things like that. I sit here and say America should be Christian again, but where do you go from there? Because most of the churches in your area are fake and gay.
Right, so it's tricky because you want them to promote it, but when they go to church, they're getting brainwashed.
Yeah, they're getting some bullshit message, or you get a feminist pastor. And then, some churches are just straight up flying the rainbow flag, which is insane to me.
Crazy.
Yeah. But even the ones that don't fly the rainbow flag, they still have feminist ideology, or just the pastor's weak. There's so many just important issues that these pastors are not speaking up about.
Yeah, I've been down this rabbit hole like 2 days. Make it make sense. And I just want to ask y'all this. Where does Wi-Fi come from? Make it make sense. Where is the connection? And how does everybody have it in their house? If you don't have that box in your house, you won't have Wi-Fi. And I came to this conclusion. What if we are the connection? The aura that we give off. We are emitting a certain type of energy and vibration that we cannot see. So what if they learned to harness that energy and charge us for it and just call it Wi-Fi? Make it make sense. Yeah, I know these people have been doing studies on us for decades. Where is the connection to Wi-Fi? And if you don't have it in the box in your house, you won't have Wi-Fi. So basically they're saying you won't know you won't know the type of energy or the vibration that your body is emitting, your body is giving off, if you don't pay for it. Make it make sense, y'all. The rabbit hole gets very deep. That's just something I thought about. You ain't got to believe it, but that's just my theory. What do you think? Get in the comment section and let me know.
And why is there no Wi-Fi just walking down the street? Why do I got to be in my house where I got to pay? Why is there no Wi-Fi? Why is there no boxes in the street? So we got Wi-Fi. Because they can't make money off it? Probably.
Talk about Foot Locker back in the day.
Foot
Who
Locker.
remembers going to the mall with one of the only stops you had scheduled? Foot Locker.
If I went to the mall,
Champs.
there was no chance I was not going in, and knowing damn well I didn't have any money to buy anything. I
Still.
accepted the mean mugs that the workers gave me because I was like, "Oh, you right? I ain't buying shit."
Dude, I was the little scrub kid that walked in, and they looked at me and they were like, "He's not buying
What are you
nothing.
doing?
He's not buying a damn thing."
Like where they didn't even have to bother saying, "Can I help you?"
They wouldn't even ask me.
We know we can't help him. Can you help me get $150?
Hey, dude's tank top is dirty as hell. He ain't buying nothing.
Hey man, that place was like a physical place, like the East Bay catalog,
Yes.
where I could go in and be like, "Wow, I definitely want that.
How many times did you look at the East Bay catalog and be like, "Oh shit,
I need that."
hey, I wonder if they got these at
Yeah,
Foot
so I would
Locker."
go into Foot Locker and see shit that I know I needed sometime in life.
Yep, the sweatsuits for the cheap. You got the mix and match, or you get the match, or the black and black, you get the purple and purple. I
Sweatsuits,
remembered.
though.
That's the only thing I would
Yeah.
go out there and buy. Like before school would start, for that year, my mom would take me out there and I'd get me one Foot Locker sweatsuit. Dude, who remembers when you would get a pair of shoes, fighting for your life at the counter to avoid the upsell of the waterproof spray?
They
Remember
made
that?
you think that shit was
forgot about that.
essential.
And if you didn't, your shit's gonna fall apart.
Yeah, you might not make it home.
Hey, that's on you, dog.
Yeah.
You don't buy it, that's on you.
I remember a time when you could get like Cortezes pretty cheap. So I would go get those like on repeat.
Because you know what's funny? Shoes haven't changed in price
No.
that much. So that's why we'd always end up with the Cortezes or, Reebok Classics.
Yep.
But most of the time when I'm in a Foot Locker, it's just staring, it's hoping, dreaming, wishing.
What if Leonardo da Vinci wasn't who history said he was? What if he was actually a high-ranking Freemason? We were taught that he was a genius inventor, a thinker, and a painter. When you really study his work, a different picture starts to emerge. Hidden within his paintings are strange symbols, coded messages, alien-like figures, as you can see right here. All this symbolism points to something far beyond what the surface is telling you. Some researchers claim that his paintings give references to secret societies, to alien-like figures, to demonic entities, all woven in the background, hidden from the naked eye, but planted into the subconscious mind. Something that Freemasons love to do within their artwork. Look at this figure, woven into the background of the Mona Lisa, guys. Very demonic looking, if you ask me. Some sort of entity, right? Look at this. The Last Supper is another great example for this. When we mirror this image, this is what the Last Supper looks like when it's split in half and completely mirrored. Again, very interesting symbology. We can see the Baphomet here. We can also see some sort of alien-like figure in the middle here. Mona Lisa is also said to have secret codes and hidden messages in her eyes. Going back to the Last Supper, it is a symbolic representation of astrology itself. 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs, the Virgo, the only female in the zodiac, Holy Trinity, and Jesus representing the sun. Again, this is hidden symbolism in plain sight. Let's not forget Da Vinci's notebooks that were filled with flying machines and hybrid-like alien creatures and technologies that should not have existed in his time. The question becomes, was Da Vinci really a brilliant artist who was ahead of his time, or was he connected to secret societies who were hiding wisdom from the people, and still are to this day? Well, when you start to look closer with a critical eye, you will start to see the patterns everywhere. You have to understand that history is his story. It is written by the victors. It is the truth in plain sight. Anyone that's been purported as good and a genius, Edison, all these people, they were all a part of this agenda. And they suppressed the real genius inventors who were doing nothing but trying to help humanity, trying to give us free power and freedom and further the advancement of human consciousness. When you start becoming more aware and you start waking up to the true reality, you start to realize who's truly controlling the world. The world controllers are all a reptilian race. And this has been very obviously put right in our face through the media, through the mainstream movies, all of this stuff. They tell you the truth in plain sight because they need to tell you the truth. And I always say the truth will set you free. And this is a fact. Once you figure out who you truly are, you can escape this system because you will realize how powerful you are. You can create any reality that you desire. And don't forget to like, share, and follow for more hidden truth. Peace and love.
All educational content is obsolete. Every textbook, every lesson plan, every test, all of it is obsolete because Gen AI is going to be able to deliver a personalized lesson just for you.
So this is Joe Lehman. He's the CEO of Alpha School, a brand new school integrating AI deeply into the curriculum. What Alpha School is doing is really reinventing the classroom. Kids learn for 2 hours using an AI tutor, and then the rest of the day they can do free projects, follow things they're passionate about. It's working with Alpha School. The kids are placing in the top percentile nationally. Yes, it's a private school, but the AI tutoring is working. We know that one-on-one education works for kids. It's worked for hundreds and hundreds of years. But what Alpha School can do that's never been done before, they're not only able to adjust the learning style, but also the content. So if your child loves baseball, they can learn algebra via baseball. And there's a lot of opportunity in what Alpha School is doing, but I also think there's reason to be concerned for our education system. So,
See, my son's 7 months, right? So I'm sure by the time he starts school, this is going to be an option. A homeschool. Just like I remember when I used to do summer school back in the day, like it became online. I forgot what it was called, the online thing. It's still going on today, but it was all online, right? So I'm pretty sure by the time he starts school, this is going to probably be an option. You pay, let's just say for first grade level, what is he passionate about? What does he like doing? He likes, playing with Tonka trucks, whatever. So they're going to have Tonka trucks that are teaching him first grade level. I don't know, but that'd be pretty dope. Y'all instead of going to learn about, things that are nonsense, right? Even though algebra and all that, not really, but, what do you guys think of that? I think that'd be pretty dope if one day they created school for home or you go to school and like a private school and you do. That's pretty dope, y'all. I like that.
See is that kids who are learning with AI get even farther apart from their public school counterparts. I think it's going to be really hard for a lot of public schools to integrate this kind of really wholesale change, because what we're seeing with alpha school is you have to completely reinvent the education system, and public schools might be too slow and too archaic to do that in any kind of meaningful time frame.
What is the ferry?
Ferry was this. So Richard Shaw, my former business partner, he passed away a few years ago. Now Gil Zimmerman and I are, doing these films. I see you got Squatch over there, and that's great.
Yeah,
it's a great picture. I love it. So Rick and I fly down to Mexico to interview Jaime Maussan. Jaime Maussan is like
got Squatch right there, y'all.
Mr. Mexican UFO guy, and I love Jaime. He's a great guy. So Jaime's got this show he's got to go do, and so he goes flying up to the 4th floor and does the show. But in the meantime, he goes, Marzulli, Shaw, look at this. And he reaches up to the cabinet, pulls down this glass jar, completely clear, about this tall, with a liquid in it, with this thing in it, puts it down on the table and runs out of the room. Rick and I are going like, you have got to be kidding me. Here's this head of a demon. The thing's about this big, wings, a tail that looks like a scorpion. And we're going, this is unbelievable. And Rick's got the camera out. We're filming, and this whole thing. Jaime comes back down after like an hour. Oh yeah, I got it from this. This is the story. They shot this thing, and we found it, and we did all this tests. We did DNA testing. It's real. It's real. It's real. And so we went with it. We went with it. But in the book, I say more testing needs to be done. So the book was published. About 6 months later, we got the ferry out of Mexico. We got it out of Mexico. Now we're in on a Saturday morning.
Imagine that at the border stop.
Yeah.
Anything to declare?
Not really.
Yeah.
Just nothing to see here. Keep moving. So we get this thing, and we're at a veterinarian's office. There's 3 vets. First thing we do is we take it out of the jar of formaldehyde, put it on a plastic tray, do the x-rays. We're all looking at it. There's 3 veterinarians there. They're all trained. They look at the x-ray and they go, looks real. One guy goes, yeah, but the pelvis looks weird. And I go, yeah, but look where the bird shot is. The bird shot's right by the pelvis. He goes, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe that skewed the pelvis. Yeah. So everybody's on the same page. We all think it's real. Rick is going, oh my God, we're all freaking out. The vets are freaking out. And about an hour goes by, and parts of the ferry are on this little plastic tray. And I look down and I go, that doesn't look right. And I take the forceps and I pick up this bone thing and I hold it up to the vet and I go, what's this look like? And the vet goes, that looks like epoxy on the end of a matchstick.
Oh.
And that's when we went back to the x-ray, and then we could see it. And we realized it was a construct.
All right, fam. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are enjoying the content while I'm gone. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're going to get back. A lot of this is old news. A lot of it was tough, y'all. I had to find 300 clips, in one day. So the clips kind of got, there's only so much the algorithm's going to feed you, but they're not too bad, right? But, I'm going to be seeing you guys soon, right? Hope you guys are enjoying the pictures of everything. This is Segovia, signing out of the Man Cave. See you guys on the next one. Later.